because radio is one of the licensed hobbies that we have. We have others, hunting, fishing, driving, flying, you need licenses. Well, I passed a federal licensing test that was held routinely, and in those days that was a big deal. Suit and tie or shirt and tie and all that. And they asked me about 5 different things. First of all, you had to draw pictures of a schematic of a radio. Then you had to explain all the parts of the schematic. A 2-way radio, receiver, transmitter. And I was licensed in 1960. And I've been licensed ever since. I had to pay for my license renewal every year up until the year 2000. And now it's free. Free renewals, just like your driver's licenses and stuff nowadays. But they still test for people for this hobby because it has the potential of interfering with commercial services and such. But the hobby itself is expansive. You talk to other people, communicate around the world, work with different electronics, and in reality, my whole career has been in electronics and in radio. And there are even some ham radios in this room, ham radio operators. There's one. Yes, Peter Cheshire has license number VE3PWC. I am VE3EQP. Now those are license designations that are given.
Victor X-ray 6647.
Who's that?
Me.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Victor X-ray 6647. Never forget.
That's not an amateur radio license.
No. It's
That's
not
a
ham
marine
radio.
It's what?
It's not ham.
That's right. It's I think marine.
Yeah.
Yes, which they don't require anymore. But, and it was not. However, this hobby has carried me through my career with Bell Canada for 30 years, and then I've been retired in another 30 years, and I've been licensed 64 years. My friend Rick Brown in London, he's 13 years my junior. He and I have been going on what they call Amateur Radio Field Day, which is an emergency preparedness exercise that is held every year. We've been doing this for 35 years. And another ham that you might know is Ed Webster. Ed and Velda Webster were members of the Knox Church, I think, and maybe a lot of you will know them. So that's been a hobby of mine for all these years. Just a little bit of statistics. There are about 3 million hams in the world licensed, and there are probably 44,000 in Canada. United States and Japan have about 1/3 of that, or 1/2 of the other rest, like 1.5 million, I think, something like that. So it's a very popular hobby. It's dying out. Gray hairs. The young kids aren't interested in this. A question?
VE6 CNF.
There you go.
Right.
One out of every 10 or 12,000 people in Canada is a ham. So anyway, that was a little brief 6.5 minutes, but extra minutes. And if there's any questions, I'll give a minute or two. Yes?
What's the furthest distance that you've carried a conversation?
Around the world, basically. In 1992, Nancy and I were in Bermuda, and with a little transceiver that I had brought that had 1 watt of output power, the equivalent of a flashlight bulb. I chatted with a fella in Sydney, Australia. 10,389 miles, I think it was, with 1 watt of power. That's not usual, but it happens. Any other questions? It's a good hobby, and if you have kids that you know that are interested in radio, it can bring on a career that is satisfactory to all. Yes?
There was a movie came out a number of years ago called Independence Day. And it was, the earth was being invaded by little green men, right? But all communications were shut down, everything got. And the whole world got together on ham radio.
Okay, I'll mention the one more thing about ham radio. It is in a time of emergency very essential. During the hurricanes and the storms in the south, and even in Barrie in the 1985-86 era, where there was a tornado through Barrie, all the other services are point-to-point. Your cell phone, your point-to-point radio, and so on. It's only amateur radio is one of the few that do what's called networking, where they can operate a central station and people call in. So they can help with getting sandwiches, moving blankets around, coffee, whatever. We were limited a little bit in the past because of security, and for a while there we weren't allowed to give up names of people or their health conditions or such, unless it was really a dire emergency, I guess. But now we're being accepted again into what's called the CORE, C-O-R-E, which is an Ontario organization that is tying the emergency operation centers of various locations into ham radio again, because they do realize that we are federally licensed, so we are real people. We are not CB radio or just people off the street. We are responsible people. And so that's coming into effect more as an emergency backup in case of emergencies. So, anything else? Yes.
It's not really a question, but if anyone knows different radio, I'm going to be on in like a couple months.
Oh, good.
That's all I need.
Good for you. Okay, thank you.
Not the same, but hope that the non-breakers will still get on the radio too. I just wanted to share on that. When the blackout happened, I was living in Toronto, and the only place we could find out was we heard an explosion first before we knew anything, and the radio is what told us what was going on, so we knew we were safe.
1979, Mississauga.
I'm younger than that, but it was more recent when blackouts went, or there was a plant explosion in the city, and we heard a boom, and no one knew what it was. And the times that we're living, it was a bit scary, and we all were able to go to the radio because in our region we lost power as well. So
Mississauga train disaster in 1979 brought out ham radio operators to move things around because that whole end of Toronto was shut down.
It's amazing. Well, thank you for your service, and anyone else here who's also part of that. Last thing on that I want to share is I comedy background. Some of my favorite radio programs from back in the day is learning how they do all the sound effects for all the things that now we have AI and all the fun stuff, but those simple basics of the things we can do with our hands to make sounds. So radio's always holds a special place in my heart in the classic radio drum, all right? Thank you again one more time. That was very amazing and very enlightening. Thank you so much, Michael. Our next presenter today, we welcome Corey, and I'm going to probably pronounce people's names wrong, so please just come and yell at me later. Corey. Hey Corey, to our stage. Corey has enjoyed doing crafts for decades and has brought a few samples of her projects to entice folks to explore the joys of crafting. She has been a member of our Stitch and Chat Thursday group for many years, which I highly encourage you all to take part in. Corey is also a talented singer and has graced our choir in the past, as well as being an inspired participant in our Bible study. Thank you, Corey, for all you do. Come on up.
I have been crafting and sewing and knitting all my life. I made the children's clothing because we couldn't afford it, so we started slow. And Peter was always the breadwinner, and he could go and do other jobs and it's to other services. He was research and development. So I was home quite often, and with the 4 kids, as soon as they start getting into high school, I start doing crafts. Started embroidery in the 70s, and then it came into the 80s, and it was 82, we moved to Bolton. And there, I met the minister's wife, and she had a craft in the church. So I thought, oh, I gotta join this because I got spare time. So she showed, well, I got more crafts, but I figure I'll put them up later. Anyways, these are my 2 from 85. That one is from 95. Wow. It gives you rest and stress relief. And also your brain be on something else besides your worries. So, yeah. I enjoyed making them.
How long did it take for it?
I don't know. I made seat covers and they take 200 hours. And that one is my favorite. So it's impossible to say how much time. So now I've started a lot of stitch and crafts wherever I went. We went to Florida and Crystal River, they had a craft group, so it was a craft group in Crystal River where we were with a trailer. Oh, shucks. Can't hold it. I didn't touch it.
What even happened?
This is embroidery. We made it on it. And then these we did in the church in Bolton. The lady taught us. And this is So these are the bigger ones. Even skiing. Thank you.
Why don't you hang up, then you can hold them.
And these just little things we made in Stitch and Chat. They're just imaginary, but they're pretty. Oh, come on. These are all my stitching cards. Oh, yeah. Yes. I think I got 100 of these. All different ones. Anyways, that's enjoyable work.
I'd just like to say that Cory was really worried about today. She always left the presentations to Peter, so this is the first time she's had to get up and sit to a group. So
Let's give her a round of applause. That's it, no thank you.
They really are beautiful work.
No, it's okay now. Just whenever we touch it.
It's like I'm in little guy here. So we're gonna have to move it again. All right. All right, I can bend. We'll make it easier. How cool is that? Have we all learned a couple things so far? Amazing, amazing, amazing. So we're gonna switch things up a little bit. It's all right. I'll do a squat. And what's really amazing is we've got so many. First of all, I would like to acknowledge as well all of our Sunday school teachers, if you could please stand up, because they, thank you very much. They allow an opportunity for our children to learn more about. Thank you. You're not. You're an example of why we need to give them presents daily. Yay, so just a great opportunity for the children to be introduced to religion, to be able to be part of a beautiful community like this. So I feel very privileged and honored to have my very busy boys as part of it. And I've seen them both grow so much and ask more questions. So I think it's such a special thing that this church offers the opportunity to have Sunday school. So I want to thank you for that. So we actually have a couple of our Sunday school kids that will be presenting or speaking with us this evening, teaching us. For as long as I have known this young little man, he has been obsessed with dinosaurs before he could talk. Not this little man, he's going to steal the show. Literally before he could really say any words, he could say some of the longest dinosaur names that exist. And I was like, oh, that can't be real. And then it was. I was like, I don't know where you're learning this. So his passion and excitement about dinosaurs has lasted his whole 9 years of life. He still says he wants to be a paleontologist, which is pretty exciting for us to hear and see him grow. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my firstborn, one of the loves of my life, Lingen Delzell, to share with you a little bit about dinosaurs. Right into the mic. Like, I can hear you, but I won't touch it.
I will be telling you 5 facts about dinosaurs.
Okay, you're
Touching the cable, yeah.
Yeah, try not to touch it.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry to everyone, the connector on this is a disaster. If we turn it and get around it. So I'm not try not to knock you out with it. How's that?
Okay.
That might work. Oh, sorry, there you go. Sorry about that. Thank you.
This is the first fact. There are 5 types of dinosaurs. There is the avian, carnivore, amphibian, and herbivore. And I'm pretty sure that I said 5, but
You said omnivore?
oh yeah. Oh yeah, I said omnivore. I'm pretty sure. There are also 2 Jurassic birds I know. There is one I know everyone knows. There's a dodo bird. And this one, some people might know, the terror bird. It's like an ostrich, but like more violent and it's a bit smaller. The third is, does anyone know the reason why dinosaurs have tails? The dinosaurs did not have tails. That's how they balanced.
Oh.
It's not stable. There.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. Does anyone know? I know what the reason why dinosaurs went extinct. It is because the world had no room to make the next generation, the Ice Age. Some dinosaurs are aquatic, like the Mosasaurus, the Plesiosaurus, and the Lepidopterosaurus. This is the end. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Oh, wow.
What's your favorite type of dinosaur?
Spinosaurus.
Oh,
Spinosaurus.
that's
That
awesome.
one.
The one that you brought today?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good job. He's very excited and nervous, so you did a very good job, Lincoln. Do you have any other further dinosaur questions? Speak to the paleontologists in the congregation. All right, we have one more before we'll have a little stretch break, top of those coffees. From another one of our gifted Sunday school students, this one you may recognize as well. She and Heather Donner will be singing the song One Small Voice in American Sign Language. Faith has performed this song with her school class in the past. Her entire class sang the song, and she sang and solo signed for the audience. Thank you, Faith and Heather, for sharing your talents today.
So just before we start our song, as many of you know, Barry and I have 3 children and our grandchild. What you may not know is that our firstborn, Rachel, we were told she would never put 2 words together. And for years and years and years, we had doctors and nurses and workers in our house almost 3 to 4 days a week trying to get this child to communicate. Be careful what you pray for. Because now we cannot get a word in edgewise. Our son Alex was born and he has a form of autism. And so when he has specific documents that he has to produce or write, he uses technology. So he uses voice to document or voice to text to communicate. Our daughter Kendra was born almost deaf and had about 3 or 4 different surgeries. And so she has about 80% of her hearing. But that also meant that we had to learn how to speak. So we had speech pathology and OT and all these different things. And so we all communicate in different ways. You communicate through your body language. I can see some of you are really engaged and some of you are like, come on, let's keep going. I need another sandwich. We also communicate through our facial expressions. Show me your best happy face. Yeah, that's great, Peter. All right, you can show me that you're excited. Right? So Faith and I are going to show you a song called One Small Voice, and we're going to do it through American Sign Language. And we have done sign language with most of our children all of their lives. So Faith, this is your turn, okay?
We're just one small voice singing out a song. We're just one small voice singing sweet and strong. One by one we'll grow and together sing along and then
amazing, amazing job. I want to guess we'll just have a really quick stretch break. I'm going to get everyone who's able to stand with me before we go into grab another round of coffee or what have you. I was supposed to do a little fitness with you, but I think right now we'll just do a breath together. I think there's really something powerful in just taking a moment of breath together. So we can still stretch our legs if we're able. Otherwise, don't stress yourself if it's not in the cards at the moment. And just take a big breath. You can do it from C to 2. Big breath in. And out. Try not to hit your neighbors. Big breath in. And out. One more big breath in. As we exhale, let's put our hands in prayer position over our heart. And just embrace the beat of your heart, the air in your lungs. And as Reverend Barry said today, let's just continue to lead with love and kindness every single day. We're not done yet. We still have another few performers. Take a beat, fill up your coffee, use the potty. We'll be back in about 1 to 2 minutes.
You did awesome.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm a nurse, but I went up with a friend who was a vet, and I was his specialist. So I dated a vet. So when after hours and stuff,
We've watched them all good healthy. It's amazing. I get nervous watching something, but you go and check it out in person, see what it's like too. And everything else scares like Victor but he's just fascinated and everything. Yeah. He has a YouTube channel.
I still work stuff I need already.
yeah, well, there is so I guess trains going, but when they put it on, what a great time. And someone would stay in so there was a bungalow that was for visiting old people, not the guys that were stationed there, but like the management team.
We say thank you.
And we took and there was an old army barracks, and when they replaced the surgical equipment in the hospital, that was donated, and so they had a full line set up in this army barracks, and we just had to take out the rods and
Don't touch it.
anesthetic machine, all that.
You come sit down.
So we loaded up the van and got on the train and up we went. Great.
I know about work like that. Work up there. That's come back.
Great, everybody should really know.
Can you call that one
So many people
I know. All right, everyone, if you want to start taking your seats.
This is what they want to build in Springfield.
I do that.
The new version.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, well, it's like that.
Still feel on stage.
That's it. Yeah, the two lines. Two lines, big candle, line, and then they crank.
All right, everyone got their other helpings, enjoying this. Also, can we acknowledge all of the amazing snacks? Whoever provided the snacks for us today, I'm going to get you to love it, as they say on Thursday. I mean, stand up in English. No, that's all right. We will secretly appreciate you for days and days to come with the delights that you've shared with us today. So have you enjoyed this afternoon so far? Have you felt like you've learned a couple things from some of the members of our congregation? Pretty awesome, I love it. Now you know who to go to talk about radios, dinosaurs, and that incredible Ascension chat. We're all going to go and sign up if we're available because that looks incredible. And I'm missing someone else. And service dogs. I've always been so amazed by that too. So much more to learn as we continue on. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Radio, is that everyone? And small voice. My cousins are actually deaf, so I appreciate very much the American Sign Language and what you shared with us today. I'm very excited to share with them today that we had that right in our church today. So next up, we are going to welcome Carol Burton. Carol has brought along 2 of her paintings. She will be speaking of her varied careers, her move to Tiny Township, and the creation of her own art studio above her garage. She will give a brief outline of her creative path over her lifetime and share her painting pleasures since retiring 4 years ago. Come on up, Carol. Let's give her a round of applause as she makes her way to the
Well, those are pretty tough acts to follow, so I'm not bored with this. But I've had some passions throughout my life. Art from the time I was young in various forms, and dogs and horses, which I couldn't actually get my first horse till after I finished nursing school. But then I moved to Northern Ontario. I raised my 2 kids on a horse farm in North Bay. And we were up there for 29 years. All through my life, I've pursued art in various forms. And then in 2011, I moved to Tiny, and I worked with the CCAC as a case manager. So that's the LIN or Home and Community Care, whichever version that you're familiar with. And then in 2021, I retired. And so I had I built a house then, and I have an art studio over my garage, and now I can paint and pursue my art whenever I feel like it, and then I just close the door on the mess, which is really nice. So this is a painting of a barn window in, it's actually in Manitoulin Island. Now, I don't paint on site. I take photos and then I sit where it's warm or cool, and I paint in comfort. I don't do any plein air painting. And I don't do much with people or animals from the front because I can't do faces. I'm pretty good at the back end. So yeah, that's my life in a nutshell.
I have a question.
Oh, we have a question.
Which one of the 2 was the horse's ass?
I just picked the one with the pink hat. That would be
Fair enough. Love it. Beautiful, beautiful work one more time for Carol. I I also appreciate your transparency because faces are hard to draw. Well, we already got to be gifted to experience some of her talent already, and we're very aware of the musical talents of Heather Donner. But today she will be offering a song of faith, a contemporary Christian song. Heather has been singing since a child in cherub choruses, youth musicals, and singing Christmas tree, various choirs, and jazz choirs. She also plays the accordion, which is super amazing and cool. So be prepared to enjoy, and welcome back up, Heather.
Just in case I forget the words. So this song is by a contemporary artist called Laura Story, and it's a song called Grace, and it goes very, very nicely with my husband's sermon this morning. My heart is so proud, my mind is so unfocused. I see the things you do through me, these great things I have done. And now you gently break me, and lovingly you take me, and hold me as my Father, and mold me as my Maker. I ask you, how many times will you pick me up when I keep on letting you down? And each time I will fall short of your glory, how far will forgiveness abound? And you answer, my child, I love you. And as long as you're seeking my face, you'll walk in the power of my daily sufficient grace. At times I may grow weak and feel a bit discouraged, knowing that someone somewhere could do a better job. For who am I to
One more time for Heather. How beautiful is that? It always amazes me the power of music. I don't know about you, but that touched me right in my soul. It was a beautiful, beautiful performance. Thank you for that. The gift. All right, we are at our kind of technically second last, but our last performer of the day. Cora has become she's AKA the first unofficial poet. I know our newsletter is not complete unless we've got our poem from Cora, pardon me. So I'm super excited to see what she's got for us today. She surprised us when she offered to contribute, but did not go for a poem or a song or a craft. Instead of her obvious talents, she has chosen to share something personal and not something we would have guessed. Her conversation is regarding her fear of thunder. So Cora, please come and enlighten us.
I need that down just Okay. All right, I'm going to tell you about my fear of thunder. As a small child, I watched my mother being very anxious whenever we would have a thunderstorm. I was the youngest and probably the most with my mom at these times. So just like her, I also became very frightened with the loud clap of thunder and the lightning. I remember when I was a teenager, during a storm, she would pray on her knees, and I would often sing hymns. I grew up, finished high school, off to the big city of Edmonton, and found a job. Still very uneasy during thunderstorms. It seemed best not to tell anyone. Life has a way of going on, and I met a nice young man, fell in love, married, and have 4 children. But I was determined to find a strategy that I would not pass on my fear. So when Sharon, the oldest, was about 2, if a storm came, I would call her and say, "Story time." She got to love this, and I always hoped the story would be longer than the storm. We sat on the Chesterfield, and I could keep my eye on that storm. So over the years, I started to have a bigger audience, 4 in number. I changed the routine. Story time, each one could pick a book for me to read to them. We had many books as we belonged to a children's book club. They never suspected me having any fear. Result, the children all to this day love to watch the storms. But life keeps moving on, and Frank could retire at age 56. I thought it was only right since I was 56. I should retire as well. But we were too young to sit around without a purpose in our life. Frank, having been in the forestry for 33 years, knew how it worked with summer jobs. Pardon me. He managed to get a forestry fire lookout where both of us could stay and work. They were happy to hire him. One person they didn't have to give any instructions to. Now, my new dilemma. The fear of storms was still there, and I knew that for me to enjoy this life, I would first have to learn to climb the tower. Only 100 feet up. Frank knew I could do it. We had a good discussion, and he gave me some very good instructions. Number 1, you take it slow. Number 2, you do one section and you rest. Number 3, you never look down, you look straight ahead. Well, okay, I'm ready. Frank climbed up first and told me to wait, giving him time to open the window so he could watch me and encourage me. We had a routine of walking each morning, but that had not prepared me physically for this climb. I learned that you use different muscles. But I had my workman's leather gloves for my ladies' woolly hands. Standing there looking up, I said a short prayer. Lord, please climb with me and give me the strength I need. Following instructions, puffing and gasping like no. For air, I was inside the cupola. You guessed it up there.
The view was fantastic. I loved it. But you go up, you have to come down. Going down was not that bad. Slowly all the way down and finding 1 foot on the ground. I turn around and there's a black bear. Only a few yards away. Well, let me tell you, this body was up 10. Me screaming a bear. With Craig yelling, me screaming, he decided to leave. But I still had the storm coming. So one day it came. Frank said we must go up early as we never want to be on the steel when it gets here. He was cool and comfortable, and I was shaking inside. You know, the old butterflies. He assured me it would be all fine. Remember, I am with you. So as we watched with his arm around me, to my amazement, storms look very different from up there. There you can see exactly where the strikes are, whether they're near or far. It took me several storms before I was comfortable. Our job was to spot smokes, so we had to know where the strikes would be. The antennas on our tower would really sing and know what antennas. Take a bumblebee and multiply it by 100, and you would know how it sounds. It also gets very cold up there when it rains, so extra clothing was always kept up in the tower. And by the way, it's 84 rungs to the top. And I had conquered my fear. So I just want to end it with a little verse. A thunderstorm is loud and bright. The clouds hang heavy with rain. It is God's movie, show of might. Water for the thirsting fields of grain.
Cora, ladies and gentlemen, the woman who adds a beautiful touch to every newsletter we have, and your energy is felt, so thank you for sharing that. Amazing job. All right, are you ready for it? I hope that our next presenter is in the house. Maybe they're making a surprise visit. Would you like to introduce? Or are you coming?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. After hearing about Cora and Thunder, it seems appropriate to finish our presentations with the Legend of Lightning Larry, presented by Reverend Barry, who will explain the legend and, of course, find a lesson within. So please give a hand for our last but not least presenter. We're going to do a one-handed wave. Mary's going to show us what you do. There we go. Welcome to the stage. Am I introducing you, I think, as Lightning Larry? Or whichever one. Come on to the stage. We're waiting for you. Here we go. Let's go. The entrance begins. Keep it going. Here we go. You got it. Okay, here we go.
Howdy, partners. Howdy. I gotta find a horse that has legs. Oh. Let me put Dusty over here. All right, I reckon since I'm here, I better tell you a story. This story happened in my town a number of years ago. Now, you've heard Western stories before about good old cowboys. You've heard about Wild Bill Hickok and why there was one cowboy that struck fear in every outlaw in the land. His name was Lightning Larry. I remember the day that Lightning Larry rode into our town of Brimstone. He walked right into the Cottonmouth Saloon. And he walked right up to the bartender. He said, "Bartender, give me a lemonade." Straight up. Every head in the place turned to look at Lightning Larry. Lightning Larry didn't know, but at the bar that was sitting right beside him was Crooked Kurt. Now, Crooked Kurt was part of the evil, most terrifying gang across the land, led by the ferocious leader and outlaw, Evil Eye McNeevil. Now, Crooked Crooked Kurt had that outlaw scowl that they always wear. And Larry looked over at Crooked Kurt, and he says, that's a mighty big frown you got there, partner. Crooked Kurt looks at him and goes through gritted teeth. Yeah, I'd like to see you try to wipe it off my face. Lightning Larry smiled at him. He says, I'd be happy to. Well, they both walked to the middle of the bar, 10 paces from each other. We all ducked for cover under the tables, and the bartender ducked behind the bar. And they were about to have a duel. And all of a sudden, Crooked Kurt just got his gun out of his holster. And from across the room, bang! There was no bullet. No bang. Just a bolt of light right into the heart of Crooked Kurt. And for the first time, Crooked Kurt smiled. And he walked over and he shook the hand of Lightning Larry. He says, glad to meet your acquaintance, partner. Lemonade for everyone, he said. Well, Evil Eye McNeil was really upset that Crooked Kurt had gone straight. So he decided to send in 3 of his meanest hombres. Dismal Dan, Dreadful Dave, and Devilish Dick. And all 3 of those outlaws, they rode into town and they shut up every window you could see in every store. And they made a mess. And all of a sudden, before they could even get out of town, 3 bolts of light, one into the heart of each one. And Dismal Dan smiled and looked around and says, looks like we've done a lot of damage here, boys. Dreadful Dave smiled. He says, I hope nobody got hurt. And Devilish Dick said, I think we should fix what we shot up. And they spent the rest of the day fixing up Brimstone and cleaned up all the garbage to boot. All with smiles on their faces. Well, now Evil Eye McNeil was really, really upset. He sent his 2 meanest outlaws into town. So there they came. Stinky Steve and Smelly Sid. Now Stinky Steve and Smelly Sid rode into town, and they rode right up to the 79th Savings and Loans Bank, and they said, this is a stick-up, give us all your money. Now they were wearing masks, but everyone knew who they were because of the smell, you know. And the teller handed over the money. And as they're backing out of the bank, 2 bolts of light right into the back of Stinky Steve and Smelly Sid. And they smiled. And then Stinky Steve says, I don't think it's right that we're taking money from good, hard-working people like this. What do you think, Smelly Sid? And Smelly Sid said, yeah, you're right. They gave the money back and said, make sure you keep that in a safe place from now on. And the 2 of them opened up a savings account right there in that. Now, Evil Eye McNeil was really furious. He said, if you want a job done, you got to do it yourself. So Evil Eye McNeil walked into the Cottonmouth Saloon. And he saw Larry at the bar sipping his lemonade. And he walked up to him and says, this town ain't big enough for the both of us. Lightning Larry smiles and says, I don't know, it's pretty spacious. I think we could all get along here together. Well, Evil Eye McNeil didn't smile. He didn't grin. He said, you and me, high noon, at the Okie Dokie Corral. At high noon, at the Okie Dokie Corral. There they were. Lightning Larry on his horse. Evil Eye McNeil on the other side, but Evil Eye McNeil wasn't alone. He had the rest of his terrorizing gang with him. Raunchy Ralph and Creepy Cal and Grimy Greg and Lousy Mike and Moldy Max and Gruesome Gus. They were all there. And Evil Eye McNeil looked at Lightning Larry, says, looks like you're a little bit outnumbered there, my friend. And all of a sudden you heard a voice. Lightning Larry heard a voice from behind him. He said, you know what? I'll help you, Lightning. Crooked Kurt came up beside him. Said, he looked at Evil Eye, his former leader. Says, "How you doing, Evil Eye?" With a smile on his face. Evil Eye said, "Traitor!" And all of a sudden there are three more voices behind Lightning Larry, Dismal Dan, Dreadful Dave, and Devilish Dick. They all came to help out Crooked Kurt and Lightning Larry. And just before you thought they were going to be outnumbered again, there was Stinky Steve and Smelly Sid. Now you could smell them before you saw them. And they all came up and they sat on their horses. And there's Evil Eye and his men. And Lightning Larry and his men. And before they could even say draw, 7 bolts of light from Lightning Larry and his boys right into the heart of those guys on the other side. And then they smiled. All of Evil Eye McNeil's gang smiled for the first time. And they shook each other's hand. And then they turned their guns on the town. No man, woman, or child was safe. Bolts of light everywhere, and you never did see a happier town than the town of Brimstone on that day. And they partied and they celebrated into the night, and they danced and they sang for the first time. That, my friends, is a legend of Lightning Larry. Now, I don't know where Lightning Larry is today. There's only a few of us in all the commotion at the end that saw him ride off into the sunset. I don't know where Lightning Larry is today, but I'll tell you one thing I know for sure. He's still sharing his light. And he's still aiming for the heart. Thank you, partners. Much
If you are able, I would love for everyone who shared today before you leave Lincoln to just rise if you're still here, just so we can give you one more round of applause. So if you're able to stand or raise your hand, whichever is easier for you. Thank you so much. As we said before, these events don't happen by themselves, and to be able to have an amazing day like this where we get to learn and grow and laugh together is such a treat. We don't do that enough in this world. So am I welcoming Reverend Mary back up to close us out? I wasn't sure who to introduce. The magic of the mask.
Well, Reverend Mary, he's long gone now.
Oh, he's gone.
Thank you all for this, and I want to thank Mary who put so much work into this. And all of the vision teams, and all those that performed today, and the fellowship team who helped with the food. Everyone, thank you, and for Martin and for Jamie and Dee, thank you for all that you have done to make today a success. And I hope we can do this again, because I got more stories in me. So thank you for this. Thank you all, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh, one last thing, one last contribution to the
I'll just say it from here. I'm a former member of Barry's congregation, and I have to say, to come and visit with you today and be part of it, bring my cousin from Northern Ireland, and to come and share with you, just has warmed my heart tremendously, because it's very hard sometimes to see things within a community. I follow you online, and I just say your church is so blessed in many, many ways, and thank you for sharing it with us today. And it's just
Thank you.